Today I'm going to show you exactly how I would buy a laundromat with $0 out of pocket and turn it into a $100,000 a year cash flow machine. After acquiring 7 businesses and helping hundreds of students do the same, I can tell you that laundromats check the boxes for a great acquisition. Let me tell you the exact process if I was starting from scratch today. Okay, so let's talk about why laundromats are the perfect business model. Okay, so the first thing is going to be recession resistant. Laundromats are going to thrive no matter if you're having a boom or a bust cycle because they serve a class of people that don't have washers and dryers. And of course, people are not going to stop washing their clothes when there's a downturn or there's an upturn. They're also cash-based businesses with a great recurring revenue model. One of the best aspects of this is they have a minimal employee requirement. You can run many self-service laundromats with just one part-time person to make sure the machines are operating in good order and to make sure they're closing and opening the store. Also, the operations are really simple. They are easy for everyone to understand. One of the other great aspects of this is they're still very fragmented, this industry. So you have very few big corporations that are taking over the market. Most laundromats are owned by mom and pops. They have one location and it's very fragmented. And last but not least, you're having stable and consistent cash flow. And that can't be appreciated enough. Knowing what you are going to make month over month with very little variance is huge for you being able to scale and to do it with minimal overhead. Okay, so now let's actually talk about the opportunity, because the opportunity here is what gets me excited about laundromats. So most laundromats are owned by baby boomers. Those baby boomers are retiring, which means those laundromats need to exchange hands and be sold to the next generation. Almost every single laundromat out there has no marketing budget. They have no marketing plan or strategy to get out there and to grow. Typically, it has all been based on location. You would get a location where you get a bunch of people driving by in an area where there were people that did not have access to washers and dryers. Talking about trailer parks, we're talking about RV parks, we're talking about apartment complexes. And these are the areas you would focus on, and you hope that people would drive by your store and they would see that you offer these services. Now, that is not the case. There are many different ways in which you can buy a laundromat that's been run in a very old school way, add some new school marketing strategies to make that business even better. And one of the best things about self-service laundromats is the ability for this to be a semi-absentee business. Not many can be functioned this way, but these can. Okay, so now let's talk about what to look for so we can find the right type of deal for you. Now, we want to find deals where you at least have $10,000 a month in cash flow. Okay, anything smaller than this and you're really going to be fighting uphill to try to scale. We want something that's already bringing in 10K a month at least. The location has to have been around for over 5 years. Okay, so we don't want anything younger than that. We want something that's an established location. We also want the equipment to be under 10 years of age. Okay, this is super important. These machines are expensive. They can last a long time if they're taken care of well, but we don't want you to be buying one of these locations, moving in day one, getting set up, and then realizing that your machines are all about to die within the next year and need to come out multi-6 figures out of pocket to replace them. That's not the case. We want these machines to be in good working order. Also, we want a great location. The people that use laundromats consistently are going to be in areas of lower to middle economic class income areas. These are typically not going to be very useful in areas that are very high income earners that have their own homes that typically have a washer and dryer inside of them. So we got to pick areas where people do not have access to this inside their homes, which is going to be in your lower to middle income class areas. And also, last but not least, in what we're looking for, we want an area with low competition. Don't go and buy a laundromat in an area where there's 5 within a square mile. Now, that might mean that there's a lot of people that are utilizing those services, but now we got to have constant competition. The second that you do something to improve your business, they're going to be copycats and they're going to go one and one, and eventually there's going to be a price difference. You're going to have to lower your prices to get more people in there, and we don't want to be lowering prices. We want to be increasing them. So make sure there is not too much competition in the area that you're buying. So now, where do we find them? Now, this is the key, because you might be thinking, okay, Ben, this sounds great. All right, I'm with you on laundromats. I understand why these are good businesses, but how do I go and find them? Now, there's a couple different ways. Obviously, you can drive around the area you live and try to find them, and you walk on in, talk to someone if there's someone there, talk to them and say you want to talk to the owner, get on a phone call with them and pitch them. That's the best way, honestly, to get an off-market deal. It's just to go there yourself. If you want to expand on that, you can start doing mailers. You do a direct mail, you write a letter talking about your interest in acquiring their laundromat, and you send them out to all the laundromats in your area. That's another thing to do if you're looking for off-market deals. Now, if you're looking for an on-market deal, the best place to go is going to be smbmarket.com. Now, smbmarket.com is the best because it has the most listings of any website out there. It's going to pull from every single business listing on the internet into one spot. Well over 100,000 deals are on this site. smbmarket.com, go make a profile, get started searching. You can search for laundromats, and you can see anywhere on the internet internet where people are selling them, that's where you're gonna find them. So let's talk about the zero down deal structure. So this is how, if I'm gonna go out and buy a laundromat and I wanna spend zero of my own money, this is what I'm gonna do. So this is gonna be a mixture of an SBA loan, investor capital, and a seller note. The trifecta approach, putting them all together to get low to zero down. And in this case, I'm gonna show you how to do zero down. So the deal we're looking at is $500,000 in terms of its purchase price. So that means if we break it down, SBA is able to do 90%, that's $450,000. An investor is going to give $25K, that's 5%. For the 5% they're giving, we're gonna give them 10% in equity. And then the seller note, right, this is from the person who currently owns the laundromat. We're gonna get a $25,000 seller note, and we're gonna get this on full standby for the life of the loan, which means you're not gonna make a payment on this $25K for at least 10 years, because that is the life of the SBA loan. The bank, because you're doing this, can count that 5% up right here towards your equity injection, which means you only need to bring 25K from the investor to round it out. So just to add this up, to make sure we're very clear here, we got 5%, 5%, we have 90% in the SBA loan. So SBA is 90, investor 5, seller note 5, 95.5 equals 100%. And that is how we're gonna try to structure this. Now, what does that mean? It's a $500,000 deal. What does that get you? Okay, so let's go into what this business is doing. So self-service, which means coin operated or card operated machines. You walk in, you load the laundry, you clean it, you dry it. It's $25K per month in revenue. Vending, you guys, if any one of you has ever been inside of a laundromat, I grew up having to go to one. There's always vending machines inside of them, right? Candy bars, soda, snacks, the whole 9 yards. So $2,000 a month in vending. And then wash and fold. Now this is something that is a really great service to add to any laundromat that you purchase if they don't already have it. There are people who have to utilize laundromats, but they don't want to necessarily do it themselves. And they would love to walk away with clean clothes that are already folded so they can bring it back to their apartment or their home and be able to put it right into their dressers or the closets. And they will pay for the service. So these are people that are already coming in, doing the self-service, and you're gonna offer this as a upsell to those customers. Hey, just drop it off. You don't even have to put it in the machine. You don't have to sit around for a couple hours while it's washing and drying. Drop it off. We'll do it for you. We will fold it and we'll package it up and give it back to you. Okay. And this is a service you can do. Based on what I've been able to see in the data, and for people who have done this, you can add an additional $8,000 a month in a service like this. Typically, you have to hire at least one more person full-time to be able to do this. But wash and fold can be a huge key component to getting multiple streams of revenue into your business and to make it more valuable. All of this equals $35,000 a month. Okay, so let's talk about the expenses on this deal. Loan payment. Remember we talked about the SBA loan that we were taking out? It's gonna be $5,000 a month. Utilities, $4,000 a month. Rent, $5,000 a month. Labor, $4,000 a month. Maintenance, extra $1,000 a month. We're talking around $20,000 a month to run this laundromat. Now again, these are all just estimates, just based on the hundreds and thousands of deals that I've seen. Here's where your total costs are, $20,000 a month to operate this business. On the cash flow, remember, before we talked about $35,000 in cash flow, minus your $20,000 worth of expenses, you get to $15,000 in profit. What does that mean on an annual basis? That's $180,000 a year in cash flow. Now remember, you only own about 90% of the deal because your investor who gave 5% got 10% in equity, so you now own about 90%. So just around $160,000 is coming your way out of the 180. Now remember, this deal was done with zero out of your own pocket. So the return on your initial investment is infinite because you put zero in. Okay, so let's talk about the management structure and how this thing is gonna operate. Number one, you're gonna have a part-time attendant. Now, most self-service laundromats are going to have a camera system, which we talked about here, in place. They're gonna have locks on the doors that lock and unlock automatically. They can be run remotely, but we're gonna have a part-time attendant because we want someone there to check in on how things are going. Also, we want someone to kind of be selling the services of the wash and fold. So we wanna have that part-time attendant. Now, as I mentioned, you're gonna have remote monitoring. The whole place is gonna be wired up. You're gonna know how many people are coming into the store, how many people are leaving, how many people are using your washers and dryers, and all of this is gonna be data that's gonna be played in so you can truly scale this business. Also, we're gonna automate the maintenance alerts, all right? We're going to install these on the machines because when these machines are gonna need constant maintenance. We want those alerts to let us know. We don't wanna have to go in there and check them every day to see what's going on. We would like to be automatically, just like your car alerts you when something's wrong, these machines will give you those automatic alerts so you can get them up to date and a good maintenance record on them. Digital reporting system, okay? So this is, again, going to be taking effect. We're taking all the data in from the remote monitoring, the cameras, maintenance alerts, everything. We're gonna understand exactly how many people are coming into the store, how many times are you washing on average, and this is going to come back to us so we can see truly what our margins are in the store. How many people need to come through that door in order for me to walk away with the cash flow that I need, okay? we want to get really detailed and granular on those KPIs. Also, weekly site visits. If you live in the area, you should be going by your store, especially in the first 6 months after acquiring it. Go and checking on how things are looking. How clean is the store? What does the machines look like when you're walking in there? Is your part-time attendant doing their job? Now, obviously you have cameras and everything else, but nothing can replace an owner walking into their store. Do people seem happy inside of your laundromat? What is the demographic? Is it mostly families with young kids? Is it mostly single people, right, that don't have any kind of family? Figure out who you are serving inside of your laundromat. Now, what is it for the time commitment? Now, you want to put at least 5 to 10 hours per week, especially in the first 6 months after acquisition in this type of deal. You're going to try to do most of this remotely. Now, you're going to have payroll for the person who works there. There's going to be maintenance that needs to be done and coordinated on your machines. You need to be updating potentially the way that the place looks as soon as you buy it. You might have to repaint the place, get new furniture in there, get new vending machines, whatever it may be. There's going to be work, especially in the first 6 months. So put in at least 5 to 10 hours a week on your calendar that you're going to be spent at the laundromat getting it to the shape that it should be in. You're going to wire up all the cameras, everything for remote monitoring, so you know exactly who is coming in, what they're doing, and it's really going to help you with the data tracking. Just make sure that you're hitting your KPIs. You're going to be focusing more on the marketing and strategy. People think of laundromats, they don't think there could be any marketing, right? That's not the case. It's all about location. How can you go outside of your location to let people know that there's a laundromat there? Also, why your laundromat is better than others. Maybe it's the vending machines that you have in there. Maybe you offer other services inside your laundromat like wash and fold. Maybe when they go in, there's going to be movies playing, right? There's going to be TVs everywhere, movies playing, there's entertainment for kids. Maybe there's an area where kids can play inside of your laundromat. Now families are going to choose your laundromat, even if your prices are not as good as maybe another one down the street, but you have a play area for your kids. Think through these things and then start marketing to the demographic that you want to serve. And of course, manage the manager. Okay, the part-time attendant you have in there, or even if it's a full-time attendant, you're making sure that person is doing their job and that they're doing it well. And you're incentivizing them to go above and beyond to make sure that the success of the laundromat would also make it to where they're more successful. So tying a portion of their pay to the KPIs of the business. Now, we just went through all of this on this laundromat deal. Now, these are numbers that I just pulled out that are typical numbers that you see in this industry. It's also important to realize no deal is perfect, no deal is easy. Finding a laundromat that meets these numbers, finding an investor who can come alongside of you, finding a bank that's lending on it, structuring the whole thing creatively to get it done is not easy. It's not. And even once you have the deal done, there's gonna be work involved with making sure that that laundromat is gonna be putting out the amount of profit that you're planning on making it put out. All of it takes time, all of it takes focus and strategy. If you want to learn exactly how to find, analyze, and acquire these types of businesses, I have something for you. I have a program called Acquisition Ace, where we hold your hand through your first business acquisition. We've helped hundreds of students acquire their first business with little to sometimes even zero down. If you want to learn more and hear more about our success stories, check the link in the description below. Thanks for watching.